Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NBA Cinema. Now, Bronny James, one of the most talked about, second round, definitely number 55 pick players to ever grace the NBA draft. And it's all because of his name, obviously. But now there's rumors that other NBA players are looking at the situation and they're like, kind of resenting the fact that Bronny even has a spot in the NBA, and including Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, who obviously has been a little upset with Team Nike recently, but recently he was at NBA Summer League out in Las Vegas. Him, Angel Reese, and his girlfriend Kirsty, and they were actually sitting there, and Jaylen Brown just said, he don't think that Bronny's even a pro. And then there's, formerly NBA player, formerly known as Enes Kanter, is now goes by Enes Freedom, based on his relationship with the Turkish government. He's actually called out, LeBron James and Bronny, basically saying, he's only in the NBA because of his dad. That's the only reason he was drafted. And then he got on, LeBron and how much of a dictator he is in the league and just what other players are saying that he still talks to about LeBron. Take a listen here what Enes Kanter had to say about the situation.
To Bronny James being drafted 55th and LeBron getting J.J. Redick, his buddy, to coach him.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something, man. I actually had a conversation with of the many of the other players in the NBA, and everybody knows that Bronny James. I mean, he might be a good dude, but he is not good enough to play in NBA. I mean, LeBron. The reason that he got drafted is because of LeBron. The reason JJ Redick is the coach is because of LeBron. So like he's literally. But I'll tell you this though, no other player wants to go and play with LeBron. You had so many other free agents. Like you got Klay Thompson, you got DeRozan, you got Valanciunas, and you got many other really good players, and no one wanted to go and play with LeBron because they know that it's all about LeBron. They're gonna get zero clout, whatever that happens, and also, like someone like Russell Westbrook, right? He was one of the best players in NBA. He literally got the MVP. And when Lakers season fails, LeBron tries to find a player to blame, and he blamed the whole season on Russell Westbrook. So he is not a good teammate. Obviously, he runs the media pretty much, and he tries to control his narrative. But if we actually go and have a conversation with inside of the NBA and have a conversation with the players, nobody wants to play with him. Listen, my whole life, I actually, I'm fighting against dictators. So when I see a dictator, I know it. LeBron is literally like the dictator of the NBA. He controls the media. He controls his narrative. If you go against his agenda, you will get traded, and everybody knows it, So he's pretty much like the dictator of the NBA.
Wow. I mean, it's one of those things where I think everybody knows it, even the most, if you're part of their family. I mean, I think realistically, if Bronny James was just anyone else, he wouldn't have gotten any kind of interest from anybody, any other teams in the NBA workouts. I don't think anybody with a reasonable amount of sense thinks that he would have been drafted by the Lakers if it wasn't for his dad. But, kind of so what, except for this. Now, before I get into what I believe, let's just take a look. Now, Bronny James, again, yesterday, he finished 1 for 5 in a loss against the Celtics in Summer League. He did play 25 minutes. He just finished with 2 points. He had 3 rebounds and 1 assist. He was 0 for 3 from three-point range, which, okay, he had an off night. No, it's just not an off night but his defense he's kind of known as or you're hoping he can be a defender and a 3-point shooter, outside shooter, right? He's 0 for 15 from beyond the arc in 4 games so far this summer league. Okay. He is shooting 23% from the field. I mean, I feel, and that's where I'll get into it, regardless of how anyone feels. It feels like, do I believe Bronny James has, ability? Could he have made a role for himself in the league? Absolutely. I feel like he should have stayed in college, though. If he stays in college, especially after having, the cardiac scare, stay in college, a second season, get a full season in you. Get to start with your team from the beginning, and see how that plays out. And if you need to stay another year on side of that, it offers more maturity, time for him to mature. I feel like, and this is where, I mean, I like a lot of things LeBron James does. I'm okay with him as a leader, but because I haven't liked some of his moves. But as far as how he represents himself, he's been the face of the league. I don't think that's debatable for such a long time. At this point, we're probably going a smooth decade and a half. We're on the way of him likely being the face of the NBA. His credentials are his credentials, but at the same time, I feel like this particular decision to constantly put out there, I want to play with my son, I want to play with my son. And I remember Bronny talking about transferring after the season to another school. And I'm like, that kind of reeks of LeBron. But then that quickly changed to, oh, I'm going to put my name in the draft. I'm like, what? Nobody with his credentials has ever said that. Nobody with his credentials has ever said that. So he is, and I feel like, being pressured by LeBron to be there, which honestly, that can create some resentment, because I do believe had he stayed in college and played a couple of seasons, maybe even a third season, even if he played his full college career out to give himself a chance to mature, then he has ability. He has athleticism. He got some good shooting technique. Those things need to be refined. You can lose your confidence going into the league and struggling so early. I think his NIL deals were basically what his rookie contract is. So it wasn't about him making his own money. He would have made the money he's making in the NBA, if he stayed playing in college. So I really don't know at this point, what in the world? Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Just let me know what y'all think, man. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you next time. Peace.